The 2 years Selena has spent in the art studio with me have been a focused journey of exploration, creative development, and a honing of ideas and craft. Selena understands what hard work is, and I hope she finds joy in the results she creates from these efforts. Her creativity is imbued with an emotional content that cannot be ignored and constructed within dynamic picture spaces. The relationship between the emotional performances she creates on stage and the content of her compositions is palpable, and I have no doubt that the world needs this kind of tenacious spirit to reflect who we are as people. I wish you the very best as you step forward to your next chapter, Selena.
How was your day, Mr. Wittman? Well, it's a little bit better now that you're here, Pascal. I did not know you before this year, and you'll be leaving Rutgers Prep now as a senior, but I'm glad you dropped by the photography studio this year. It seems like you had fun, and I got to learn a bit about you through your easygoing antics and your slice of life snapshots. And most recently, and perhaps most richly, your written critiques of works and flicks. I'm glad we each saw the same deeper meanings behind Sean Penn's actions as a photographer in the movie I showed at the end of the year. Good luck next year, and drop me a line sometime to let me know how your days are going. A Christine Chin comes along only once in a harvest moon. Too respectful, appreciative, and studious to be dubbed a wild card. Too innovative, creative, and dynamic to be titled merely hardworking. Parsons School of Design is a complete match for her, not only because it's one of the world's best art schools, but Christine is a fish in water on the streets of that Manhattan island. Making work emulating her favorite photographers or simply taking it all in her own stylish way. We started this journey together, Christine, placing you in the right level class. And the truth is, you would have made great work no matter where you were. You are truly one class act.
I have only had the pleasure of Julia's company in the studio this year. As a senior, she was a leader, and it was often Julia who brought the conversation to life in class. Her irrepressible humor and the joy she takes in the lesser moments were all integral parts of how this class operated. It was exactly this spirit that she brought to her compositional constructions where, especially in the second half of the year when there was more latitude and originality, one could really see the delight Julia finds and creates all around her. It would have been fantastic to have more time together in the studio, Julia. If a year was all we could have, I'll take it. Good luck next year as you move forward to the next chapter.
There is no doubt Summers was in his happy place when he was looking at the world through his camera and capturing rare moments. Straddling two countries, he seemed to prove through his work how singular our planet is. We look overhead to the skies in the same way, our relationship to the moon is the same, and Summers' relationship to the world, whatever country he is in, is the same. It's been fun seeing the connections you have made, Summers, in class, and the degree of exploration you bring to your work. I leave you with this short poem. Like the moon shining bright up high with all its grace, I can only show you at night and hide half of my face. Wow, Amanda really embraced every corner of the curriculum. She learned how to marshal saturated sunlight. She learned how to capture golden hour butter light and even magic hour light. She played with composition and she experimented with gear. She even requested to work with film again so she could return to the darkroom with an experienced eye and an experienced hand. Amanda became a photographer throughout the year, an accomplished shooter, and she was on her way to becoming a full-fledged artist. I'm sure she will continue to develop at Muhlenberg.
Uma brought a seriousness of purpose, a broad diversity of technical skills, and an intellectual curiosity to class for her third year as a senior. She resumed her creativity in the art studio after pursuing other academic ventures last year, and I was so glad to have her return to the art building. She willingly explored ideas and techniques beyond those formally introduced in class, further developing her capabilities within the studio. It is this kind of intrepid fearlessness that marks all that Uma undertakes. When this is combined with her willingness to wrestle with and ultimately champion the construction of her creative thinking, she will have a lifetime of opportunity ahead of her. I wish you the very best of luck as you move on to next year, Uma.
It has been a pleasure watching Gianna grow as a designer and a young adult over these past 3 years in the studio. A quiet leader, Gianna was always prepared for anything and leads by example. Her work continually grew with each passing year, and I'm super excited to see her pursuing interior design in college. Over this past year, I also had the privilege of briefly coaching Gianna during the softball season. It was fun to see her leadership thrive. Overall, Gianna is just an exemplary young adult. Gianna, Thomas Jefferson is getting a truly awesome person. I'm certain you will be successful in the classroom, studio, and the softball field. Make sure to continue being creative, and good luck with all your future endeavors. Dominic has been in my classroom for 4 years. I met him as a freshman in multimedia design before he transitioned to architecture over the last 3. Every single class for 4 years, Dom would ask how my day was going. While it was a small gesture that Dom probably didn't even realize he was doing, it always meant a lot. I'm proud of Dom for sticking with architecture and working on improving his skills each year. It was not always the smoothest road, but overall, he prevailed. Dom, while the studio may be a little quieter next year, it will be different not seeing you in one of those seats. I know that you are off to bigger and better things and hope nothing but the best for you and all your future adventures.
Tiffany, a young woman with bright ideas and complex ideas, applied herself with dogged measure. In her own words, from her photo essay about metacognition, "It is not old photos that bring me back to the good old days, but the brain. Every second, our brains function tirelessly." For her, the good old days are yet to come as we collectively move forward. I think despite recent challenges, this learned photographer will come out on the other side as a gifted photographer, able to evaluate, negotiate, and navigate a brave new world. We need more Tiffanys in our world, and I'm happy to know her.
James came into my life 4 years ago as a freshman. Always wanted to be vocal, James and his sense of humor quickly grew on me. While he may hold the record for most times talking at the same time I was trying to, I will truly miss James in the studio. He brought wonderful optimism to each project, and he quickly came up with his unique style of design. I am glad that he stuck with class and made his own memories during the time. James. Embry-Riddle is getting a great addition to their school. I hope that something you learned in my class will help you during your time there. How great will it be when I can say a former student helped send someone into space? Keep staying active with your design and creating. Good luck.
Charmaine and I share a love of 2 major art forms, photography and dance. Let's be clear here, this is not a case of documenting dance. It is a case of using dance as a visual language to help comment about other realities. And in that commentary, it helps a bit to articulate with clarity. In photography, enunciation, if you will, involves light. Painting with light, taking advantage of available light, and of course, manufacturing light. Charmaine took on every challenge and made it her own. She created great photographic moments, offered insightful and playful comments and critique, and was a mature, almost maternal presence in class. She was a pure joy. Wake Forest University is going to be a better place next year. Srav. I had the pleasure this year of seeing Srav turn into a photographer right before my very eyes. Sure, she was a great student of Photography 1 a couple years ago, and during the next year I got to meet Julia Chorum through roughly 7,000 photos that Srav took. But it was this year that Srav's inner child turned into a strong, mature, articulate photographic artist making decisions about where and why she photographs. And she developed a distinct style. That's rare during pre-college. You should have seen the worry across Srav's face with each mounting week as she grew deeper and deeper into the project. This year's projects, Rob, I guess I'm a little bummed that some dots haven't connected, but I'm not concerned about the photographs not taken. I'm psyched about the photographer who has developed.
When I discovered that Matthew was as amazing in all of his other classes and not just mine, was the time when I really began to see Matthew shine as a maker, thinker, and friend. He always pushed himself to achieve, never wavering from a challenge or disappointment. I appreciated beyond measure Matthew's ability to fully identify his desired final result before fully making the work. His clear resolve and attention to specific qualities and finish are a testament to his work ethic. Matthew, I wish you all the success and happiness in the next steps of your journey. I know your genuine smile and intelligence will take you wherever you wish to go.
Matthew returned to the studios this year for a total of 3 years in the arts. He spent last year focused on other areas of his academics, and I was so pleased he could once again fit art into his schedule this year. Inventive, creative, and an expansive idea generator, Matthew could always be counted on to take an assignment in a new direction in terms of materials or conception. His willingness to think outside of the proverbial box is a skill that will serve him well in life. It is this kind of risk-taking that leads to opportunities of all sorts. I wish you the very best of luck next year and beyond, Matthew.
Brad came to the photography studio this senior year, and I must say I'm really glad that I got the senior model. Brad brought a chiller charm to the sophomore heavy Photography 1 class. A foundation class, most assignments were basic and bare, but Brad took it upon himself to deliver content with flair and experimentation. What I like most about Brad was his ability to constantly keep one eye on class material, but also one eye slightly ahead of the game, on the new horizon. Well, good luck, Brad, on your next horizon.
Alejandro has developed a singular work rhythm over the past 4 years. He knows when to tune out the voices swirling around him and focus with a laser-like mentality, making his way through a challenging compositional construction, and when to open up and let the activity help him consider new approaches to problem-solving in his work. And all of this always with a mind towards conceptual construction, using text and images in the effective manner that Banksy so provocatively showed us was powerful and engaging. Alejandro's ability to step back, envision the entirety of his response, and then execute it is the foundation of a bright future. You possess the capacity to think about the enormity that is the space around us and simultaneously impact it, Alejandro. Julia has brought levity with a certain seriousness to the art studio over the past 4 years, and the world is a better place when there is one in it who can bejewel and add glitter in just the right way. Similar to Liza Liu's beaded installation, an artist who stated she wanted to, quote, bead the world, end quote, even though her professors at Cal Arts said she would go nowhere with beads. Julia knows the power of bright, reflective light. All of that said, there is way more to Julia than glitter. Her actions speak volumes, and her dedication to honing her technical and conceptual skills is never far from her consciousness, resulting in powerful work that demands consideration. Julia's deep investment in revealing what matters right now to her generation will continue to propel her forward into that bright future she has constructed.
Connor reached rare air this year, taking his 4th year of architecture at RPS. Starting in Architecture 1 as a freshman, he worked his way past Architecture 4-5 into an independent study this year. A designer talented in many different mediums, Connor is just as comfortable on paper as he is constructing. Not many people know, but outside of RPS, he does a fair amount of woodworking, even turning pens. He is truly modest, humble, and talented. Connor, you will truly be missed in the studio next year. The dedication you've given to the architecture program at Prep is applauded. You're a wonderful young adult with a bright future ahead. I'm excited to see what you get yourself into in your collegiate adventure. Good luck forging your new path. Joey, aka Master of the Design Challenge, has been in the architecture studio for 3 years. I enjoyed watching Joey tackle a design as he always brought his unique style to the work. When I think of Joey, I will always think of the design challenge. The game face came on, and Joey worked hard to try and win or be successful in every single one. Often, students would wait to see what direction he was going and follow his lead. It was always entertaining. Joey, Catholic University made the right decision. Make sure you strive to have full success both in the classroom as well as the lacrosse field. Stay true to yourself and make the best of every situation. You can do anything you put your mind to. Good luck.
Julia has pursued, doggedly, her vision of her work from day one over the past 4 years in the studio, with an impressive focus and tenacity. The results speak for themselves as she effortlessly captures shape and form with single lines approaching the technique of some of the masters, while retaining a conceptual element reminiscent of Ankawara's work, which required intense focus in its repetition and a close editing of material. Julia's composition, containing many, many repeated rectangles of drawings that held closely related subject matter, are a testament to her incredible ability to sustain focus for long periods. It is for these reasons I know she will continue to succeed as she heads out into her very bright future. Pavithra comes in, as she has from day one 4 years ago, quietly, keeping her own console and tirelessly mining her creativity for unexplored, powerful veins of originality, always resulting in work that leaves us all wondering if she ever really sleeps. While Pavithra may have been one of the quieter members of class, her words held a certain weight, and she was always insightful, supportive, and exceedingly constructive in her offerings. Pavithra's black and white compositions always packed a visual punch, much like the charcoal drawings of William Kentridge, and this color palette was definitely among her most favorite, though when she incorporated color, look out! The results were just as impressive. I wish you the best of luck, Pavithra. Keep creating. The world has much to gain from your reflective thinking.
Emma, one of the balancers within this special group, ever able and willing to keep the peace and mood of the group calm, happy, and willing to put forth the effort no matter the energy cost. I've been continuously surprised with Emma's ability to lead by motivation, but more impressively, by example, what can be and needs to be done within a ceramic studio. Her work ethic is only shadowed by her creative approach to her work and ideas. As with every single student being honored in this celebration, leaving the studio when the most impressive skills and qualities are finally at the tips of their fingers tells me, Emma, you will do yourself an injustice if you do not try to keep art in your world when you are at college and years beyond. Aiden is certainly the stimulator and wild card of the group, always energetic, willing to enliven the group with humor as well as effort. It has been an amazing journey to witness Aiden as a freshman, worried and timid about almost anything, to a young man full of confidence and, most importantly, passion to create his ideas. Another sense of sadness that Aiden missed out these final moments in the studio. He was really tapping into a groove with an energy and desire to work, to explore a method of creating that he developed. Do not lose this desire to create, Aiden. You are at the beginning of your journey. Keep passion to explore and discover.
Macy is an intrepid, creative force to be reckoned with in the art studio, where she has spent 4 years. She has an unbounded curiosity about materials and a fearlessness that permits her to combine these various divergent elements together in meaningful ways that never fails to surprise and promote deeper reflection about the work. Macy's penchant for cast-off, I'm thinking bottle caps, wires, and other assorted materials, underscores her sense of doing what is right and doing what is good in our world. Like so many activist artists, thinking Keith Haring here, her inventiveness and ability to use whatever is at her fingertips will go far in promoting social justice in a way that will make the world a better place. I wish you the best of luck, Macy, as you head out to change our world. Know that you have the power to make a meaningful impact.
Olivia, the other balance within the studio, more amazingly a balance to me. Throughout the years, there have been many moments where subtle statements or jokes would in turn generate a head raise, eye contact, and smile, always from Liv. Often no other student fully heard or really understood. This year in particular was a highlight to me every day we had class. It is remarkable that a student with as much talent on the basketball court could have as much talent in other areas, which absolutely include ceramics. I will truly miss the hunger you showed to achieve and create your ideas and abilities. If I have one regret, it is that we did not have enough time in the studio for me to convince you that a couple of your works, which you refused to take home, are incredible. I bet if we were in school the last couple of months, I could have sunk that three-pointer. The time working with Julia seems like months rather than years. She has grown so much in a variety of ways: imagination, confidence, determination, creative complexity, and advocating for herself, to name a few. I hope, Julia, you will hear my words when I say you are capable and able to solve whatever problem is in front of you. Believe that your ideas have value and are strong. I am so glad that you have had the experience in the studio of looking at problems inside, outside, underneath, in between, through, on top, and upside down. I know this will help as you embark on a journey of engineering and science. I know that you will deliver great things in the years ahead. Please do keep your creative and imaginative mind with you always. This is a special group of seniors. We shared breakfast with each other every time we had a morning class on Fridays for a solid year and a half without a single missed meal, and leading with a driving force of absolutely incredible breakfasts that often indulged our sweet tooth was Harinder Singh, aka H Money, or as a group we thought of him as Big Papa. Gentle and caring about all his classmates, Harinder through the years found a passion for creating his ideas and motivating himself past the challenges that were presented. I know the future holds amazing opportunities and journeys yet to be taken for him. I know the road you are on now is not exactly the straight line you intended it to be. Remember, without a few hills and a couple of turns, the straight road doesn't seem as interesting in the rearview mirror.
Jaden sat in the middle of the photo lab this year. It's a nice metaphor. Ever smiley and willing to be the center fulcrum when needed, Jaden would jump in front of the camera when we were learning new lighting recipes in class, or be the cheerleader to head out in good weather on campus and shoot an in-class assignment. This free spirit attitude shows up in her work. Filled with family and friends, Jaden has become adept at recording the world around her. I'm guessing the camera will not be on the shelf in a dorm room in Sacred Heart next year. My guess is that fellow freshmen will be wondering how Jaden's same photos are so much better than theirs. The great Dorothea Lange, who we studied this year, said that the camera is an instrument that teaches us how to see without the camera.
After a brief time in the ceramics studio, Jonathan came into the architecture room as a sophomore. He quickly came up with his brand of design and stayed true to that brand over the next 3 years. I could always tell a piece of Jonathan's without even looking at the name. Never one to shy away from a challenging design, Jonathan truly made the most of his time in the studio. Jonathan, I will miss having someone to discuss decent music with next year. I am truly proud and excited that you chose University of Maryland and their architecture and planning program. They are getting a young designer who is ready to make a difference. Make sure to keep pushing your ideas, don't follow the crowd, and forge your own path. Good luck.
Jazzy Wiles has been in 6 art classes during her 4 years in the upper school at Rutgers Prep. We wish she could stay and take 6 more, quite frankly. The studio is a better place when Jazzy walks in, and she obviously was in the studio quite often. Whether in Dr. Dunnell's class or in the photo program, she was hard at work. I wish I could cram in the body of work she has been doing, but hundreds of images will not fit in here, and to show only 1 or 2 seems out of place. What I would like people to know about Jazz is that her personality and similarly her work ethic has added greatly to the amount of joy in the studio, and I'm sure that will continue on at East Carolina University. Photographer Sally Mann said, "Photographs open doors to the past, but they also allow a look into the future. In your future, think of us here at your old high school. We miss you already."
Passion is what I think of when I think of Laurion. She brought passion into the studio for both me and Dr. Dunnell. Having completed 6 visual art courses over her 4 years in RPS, Laurion is passionate about art and design. Dr. Dunnell stated, "Watching Laurion transform into the conceptual powerhouse she is today over the past 3 years was nothing short of exhilarating. And I'm in full agreement. Laurion, I'm going to miss that look on your face every time a design challenge is announced. I am extremely excited to see you continue with design at Morgan State. You will hit the ground running and show them what you are capable of each and every day. Keep showing your passion for art and design and strive to make that difference.